Hi, this is Manish Pandey. Welcome to this GitHub Copilot Exam Q&A video series. This is part 2. If you have not seen the previous video, the part 1, I will recommend you to please watch that video. I will start with the question number 31. So let's start. How can you use GitHub Copilot to get inline suggestions for refactoring your code? Select 2. This is very important questions. This was asked in the exam. So the answer is A and D. By adding comments to your code and triggering suggestions. So like once you write a comment in your code, so based on the code it will trigger suggestions, and then you will get a inline suggestion for the refactoring your code. Next, by highlighting the code that you want to fix, right clicking and selecting the option refactor using GitHub Copilots. So these are the two options that you can use for the refactoring your code. Okay. Next, question 32. What content can be configured to be excluded with content exclusion? Each correct answer present part of the solutions. Choose three. You have to choose three answer here. Answer is B, C, and D. Files, folders, and repositories. While I am showing the questions, so you can pause this video and try to answer this before I answer. Okay, make this a habit. What kind of insights can the GitHub Copilot Usage Matrix API provide to help evaluate the effectiveness of GitHub Copilot? Choose two. So there will be two answers here. B and E. So the answer is the API can track the number of code suggestions accepted and used in the organization. And then second answer is the API can provide Copilot chat specific suggestions acceptance matrix. Question 34. Where can you validate if GitHub Copilot is not returning suggestions because of the content exclusion? So the answer is C. The GitHub Copilot icon in the status bar of the editor will display a message. So in the bottom of that is the GitHub Copilot, you'll see that message in the status bar basically. Question 35. What is the best way to provide context to GitHub Copilot for better code suggestions? And the answer is by providing meaningful function names, specific function comments, and having related files open in the editor. You got it right. So you'll have to um, provide the meaningful function name and also the comments regarding that what you are planning to change that, right? Based on your code, you need to enter the comments, and you need to also keep that related files open in the editor. So based on the files open, it will try to get the prompts from based on that, like that will be the context for the GitHub Copilot, and it will give the suggestions. Question 36. How can a developer optimize their experience when interacting with GitHub Copilot via chat? So the answer is by using chat participants. The answer is B, by using chat participants slash commands, chat variables, and being specific in your prompts. So when you're using these, you can use chat participants, you can use slash commands like slash test, slash optimize, and those things. And being specific in your prompts, like what do you want from this copilot, GitHub Copilots, you need to properly mention that prompts, right? Question 37. Which of the following is not a principle of effective prompt engineering for GitHub Copilot? So which of the following is not a principle, right? So the answer is B, verbosity. Provide extensive and detailed descriptions. You don't need to provide a detailed description to get the suggestion from the GitHub Copilot, right? Question 38. What is the purpose of code refactoring? And the answer is B, to improve the internal structure of the code without altering its external behavior or functionality. Means if your code is like not well designed, then you just need to refactor that, and it will work same as expected, right? There will be no change in that, in the behavior or in the functionality. So that is called code refactoring. Question 39. What is a likely effect of GitHub Copilot being trained on commonly used code patterns? And the answer is C. Suggest code snippets that reflect the most common practices in the training data. Question 40. What is the primary purpose of project documentation in the software development? Okay, this is the general question. And the answer is to provide essential information for understanding the project's scope and purpose, right? So this is the basically use of any project documentation. If you're creating any documentation for any project, so what you can get it from there, right? So these are the essential information you'll get just to understand that project, like what will be the purpose of that, the project, what will be the scope of that, what are things included in that project, like that. So the answer is C, and this is also an important question. 41. What is the purpose of generating inline code documentation in software development? And the answer is B, to create a more readable and maintainable code base that is easier for other developers to understand and work with, right? So why we are like adding the, generating the inline code documents, right? Just to understand, like, what is the use of the specific code that you have written. So it will be easier for the, it will be easier and helpful for the other developers. Once will they will look into this code, they can understand, okay, this specific code is for this purpose, this will do these things, correct? Question 42. What types of code conversions can be completed using GitHub Copilot? And the answer is convert an entire code file, a function, or code snippet to another programming language, right? So using this GitHub Copilot, we can like provide a prompt and say that, okay, I need to convert this complete code, a complete entire code file, or this specific code or this function, like we need to convert to the another programming languages which is supported by GitHub Copilot. What percentage of developers said that GitHub Copilot helps them code faster? And the answer is 90% of developers say that, GitHub Copilot helps them to write the code faster. Question 44. What are the supported integrated development environment extensions for GitHub Copilot? So you know that like we are using Visual Code, Studio Code, Visual Code, like that. So the answer is Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, New Vim, and JetBrains. So option C. Question 45. After you enforced your GitHub Copilot for business policy, where do you first navigate in order to enable that Copilot for business for all current and future users? And the answer is option B, your organization in your profile drop down menu. So on the top right side, you see the profile, and there you like in your organization settings, you see the profile drop down, and then there you can set that. Question 46. How can organizations manage and utilize the docsets within Copilot Enterprise to tailor code suggestions and improve development workflows? And the answer is A, by using docsets to create custom collections of internal code and documentations. Question 47. How can GitHub Copilot Chat assist in improving the modularity of a class? And the answer is A, by suggesting potential refactoring updates based on the context of your code base. If you want to learn more about these topics, you can go to MS Learn, like Microsoft Learn, and you can like choose that GitHub Copilot one GH-300, and you can learn more about that, which will help you to understand that question and this topic clearly. And even in the exam, if they are changing the way of writing this questions, then also you will able to understand that, right? Question 48: how does GitHub Copilot chat propose fixes for bugs in your code? Okay, how does GitHub Copilot chat propose the fixes for the bugs in your code? So the answer is by suggesting the code snippets and solutions based on the context of the error or issue. So if you're in your code there is a bug, so based on the bugs, it will take that bug or error, that issue, as a context, and then it will provide you the code snippets or the suggestions, like so that you can fix that issue, fix that bug. Correct? Question 49: how can GitHub Copilot chat assist when encountering an error in the code? And the answer is option A. It can explain the cause of the error and suggest ways to fix it. So it's very helpful, this GitHub Copilot, in fixing the error as well. It will suggest, like it will also say like, okay, this is the error, what is the, why this happened, and how to fix that. Correct? So you'll able to also understand that why it is happening. Question 50: how can GitHub Copilot chat be used in the context of project documentation? And the answer is A. To generate specific sections of the project documentation, such as project overview, requirements, constraints, dependencies, and summary. So, if you're planning to create a project documentations, so it can generate the specific section of your documentations, like project overview, the requirements, what are the dependency, what are the summary, everything. It can help. It can generate. 51. What are the two ways to generate code line completion using GitHub Copilot? And the answer is B. Generate completions from a comment and from a code line. Right? So based on your comment, it will take that as a context and it will generate the code line completions. And also from a code line, based on your code written, so it will generate that. 52 number question: what is ghost text in GitHub Copilot? It means you know that the hidden text, right? Once we write, start writing the code, it shows that, right? So the answer is A. Ghost text in GitHub Copilot are suggestions that appear in your text editor as you type, right? So if you're going to write some function, once you write, start writing, it will show from right side, right? If you need to accept, you need to choose that, right? 53. How do you access GitHub Copilot's inline chat? And the answer is B. Use Control I on Windows or Command I on a Mac to open the inline chat. Question 54. What are slash commands used for GitHub Copilot? So the answer is C. Slash commands are the shortcuts to quickly solve common development tasks within the chat or inline pane. Question 55. What are the benefits of using agents like Terminal or Workspace when interacting with GitHub Copilot? So the answer is A. Agents in Visual Studio Code help you ask questions within a specific context, allowing you for more precise and relevant answer from the GitHub Copilot. Question 56. What are the benefits of using implicit prompts with slash commands in inline chat for fixing code issues with GitHub Copilot? And the answer is B. Implicit prompts help get better responses from GitHub Copilot without writing longer prompts, and this making it easier to interact and fix code issues. Question 57. What functionality isn't supported in GitHub Copilot for individual? And the answer is VPN proxy support via self signed certificates. Option A, right? 58. What is GitHub Copilot? You all know, right? Answer is A. GitHub Copilot is an AI pair programmer that you can use to get code suggestions, right? 59. What is the role of GitHub Copilot chat in generating the unit test cases? And the answer is C. It helps generate code snippets for test cases based on the code specified by the users, suggest possible input parameters, expected output values, and assumptions, and can help identify edge cases and boundary conditions. And the question 60, what is the purpose of the Test Explorer in Visual Studio Code? And the answer is B, to run and debug unit tests, view the results of the test runs, and manage test cases in the workspaces. We'll cover more questions in the next videos. If you have not subscribed my channel yet, please subscribe this channel and please like this video and share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do comment.